Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Rewind Review. I'm Mario Benessi, and today I'm going to be talking about the 1992 classic Aladdin. This is one of my favorite Disney films. It's a little hard to talk about this movie without being blinded by nostalgia, because, let's face it, we all grew up on Disney movies, but I'm going to try my best to look at this thing as objectively as possible. First off, I want to start with the animation. The animation is absolutely astounding. The detail to all the line work, the detail to all the little intricacies of a character. The character animation is fantastic. Just the little ways that they move, the little personality that's injected into the movement of the characters. It's all wonderful. There are some problems, though, with the CGI. It doesn't hold up as well as it should, and I'm not going to fault it too much because this was thrown around in 1992, or at least the film was released in 92. The film was worked on at least as far back as 89. They might have started working on pre-production for this film. So yeah, the CGI animation does not exactly hold up, particularly in the Escape from the Cave of Wonders sequence. It's not awful, it's not Scorpion King levels of bad, but it is still pretty noticeable. This was still a new technology that was beginning to be used and implemented and combined with 2D animation. So for what it is, I gotta give it at least some props, and give them props for at least trying something. It definitely works better in the ballroom sequence in Beauty and the Beast, but here it stands out a little bit more. The actual Cave of Wonders, the tiger's head, some shots it looks good, sometimes it's a little more noticeable. I do have to give them massive credit, though, for being able to do amazing work on the magic carpet. The design was drawn out by an artist. Of course, you have to draw it out first, and then it was completely mapped on the animation of the carpet. And for the most part, you can't really tell that it's done in the computer. There are some bits where the carpet will move a little bit of his body, and you can see a little bit of the stretching that looks a little bit computerized, but for the most part, it looks great, and it's a great effect that still holds up. Character design, fantastic. You can see how unique each and every character looks. Every character has their own shapes, and I love that. I know Eric Goldberg, the lead animator for the Genie, is a massive Hirschfeld fan. You can see it just kind of oozes into every character, and it looks great. You have some wonderful animation experts on this film. You have Deja working on Jafar, like I said, you have Goldberg working on Genie, and of course, it's impossible to talk about the Genie without bringing up Robin Williams. He brings so much life and energy into this film. The beginning part of the film, before the introduction of the Genie, is fine. It's a good adventure. You get immersed in this world. You get brought in by all these wonderful colors and these great songs and the incredible character designs. But as soon as the Genie comes on screen, there's just this whole new life that's brought into this film. And I think that's what makes this film stand out so much. It's just Robin Williams as the Genie. The story itself is one I'm not even going to bother telling you. You've probably already seen Aladdin. You already know the story of Aladdin. He finds a magic lamp, falls in love with Princess Jasmine. It's pretty simple, but all the little stops in between, it all flows. So every time that there's a change in the plan for Jafar, it all flows with what's going on. And the great thing about these animated Disney movies, as much as I would like to see more animation on the screen, they are solid, they are concise, to the point, they don't waste time on a lot of filler stuff. There's rarely something on screen that does not contribute to building a character or furthering the plot, and I absolutely love that about the Disney Renaissance films. The songs, what else can I say? They're incredible, they're memorable. I think the least memorable one, maybe, is Arabian Nights, but that's even still a great song. It's compared to big hitters such as Prince Ali, Friend Like Me, A Whole New World, just incredible songs. If it weren't for those songs, if it weren't for the talent involved in this story, if it weren't for Clements and Musker directing and producing and writing this thing, I don't think that Aladdin would be as big a movie as it is. But somehow they've managed to capture lightning in a bottle more than once during this Disney Renaissance period, and there's something truly fantastic about this film. It does, of course, get into the I love you cliche thing at the end, where they've only known each other for at most a week at this point, and they're already saying I love you. Granted, they don't have the wedding at the end of the film. The wedding actually gets saved till the direct-to-video movie Aladdin and the King of Thieves. But it is kind of odd to see them go from barely knowing each other to saying I love you in maybe about the span of a week, maybe more. But with all Disney movies, it's more about the characters and how they've made us feel. We feel connected to these characters. These characters all have distinct personalities. They all have discernible ambitions and goals. So I guess I can excuse an I love you at the very end of the film, even though long enough time has not been given to these characters to actually develop those sort of feelings. But it's a Disney movie. What more do you want? I'm not saying that as a catch-all phrase for like, oh, well, something silly happens. It's a Disney movie. What do you want? No, they do enough building up goodwill with the viewer to be able to pull that off. Now, a couple of the jokes don't necessarily hold up well. They are definitely 90s, at least some of them are in nature. Gilbert Gottfried has a couple of 90s isms. There's a scene where he's like, oh yeah, sure, not. And that's very 90s. Robin Williams definitely has the most amount of jokes in this film, and I love that. He's just allowed to riff. There is one joke that doesn't exactly hold up the greatest. It's a joke right after Genie saves Aladdin. He says something like, you know, I'm getting kind of fond of you, kid. Not that I want to go pick out curtains. It definitely doesn't hold up, but for the most part, all the jokes land. The little sight gags work. It's just incredible. I love this film. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites growing up, and objectively speaking, this is still a fantastic film. It's short, it's tight, it's compact. It's this great film that anybody of any age can enjoy, and that's the magic of Disney. I'm going to go ahead and give Aladdin an A-.